Alright, we are on the play with Rug Delver. That's a keep. That is one of my favorite reasons to play Traverse the Ulvenwald. Cuts down on mulligans. And it's great late game. Basically drew us a card. Because we didn't go to 6. Let's grab a basic island. Because that's what we need. Go to us. We can either Tarfire plus Delver, Tarfire plus Visions, Tarfire hold up Thought Scour, or maybe just slam. Well, it looks like Tarfire plus Delver, since that is a Swift Spear. Seems like a blue-red Prowess deck. Play the island. If they have mutagenic growth, we can denial it, which could be very relevant. They didn't, so let's just get a clock down. Go to us. Goyf is massive already. Man, that's a good 2-drop. Seems like blue-red Prowess. Monastery Swift Spear off a Steam Vents. Pretty much means it's almost certainly not burn. They're probably holding up a mana leak? Or maybe they just have nothing to do, because I don't think the deck I'm thinking of plays mana leak. We're going to get in for one before deciding how to play out this turn. Them using removal could dictate what we do. I think we just want to be mana efficient and slam Goyf. Probably. Remanded. That's okay. Maybe it's some sort of blue-red Delver then. Because I don't think Prowess runs Remand. Maybe it does. I could be wrong. Storm plays it, so it's entirely possible they do. We really haven't seen enough from them to have much of an idea. As foretold, I officially don't know what they're doing. That's pretty much it. Swift Spear, Remand, and As Foretold are not cards I would have thought would all go in the same deck. Let's get in for 3 and then put that Goyf back. They go to 14. Delver plus Goyf is a 2-turn clock. Any 1 CMC spells are going to get shoaled. As Foretold gets 1 counter, and they can start playing 1 CMC spells for free. Maybe it's just an As Foretold brew? Temur mid-range. With As Foretold, I have no idea what's going on, but I already love it. Untapping with Stubborn Denial probably just means we win, though. Unless they have some really good things to do off of that As Foretold. I don't believe we want to cast any spells here. I think holding up Denial is probably our best bet. And they aren't doing anything with their As Foretold on really either player's turn. But it's very relevant that since it says once each turn, you can do things on the opponent's turn as well. So it gives you 2 free spells per untap step. Raging Ravine could be animated. Pyromancer Ascension. That is very interesting. I think we're just going to allow it. I don't see the need to counter that. That's their free spell for this turn. The opponent's going down to 6. Goyf is a 5/6. Was there really not a fetch? There was not a fetch. Wow. That's pretty unlikely. Forest is a good idea to get that Raging Ravine going. Ooh, that's interesting. They could get back Remand. We can't counter this, so it is going to resolve. some sort of Temur mid-range deck with all sorts of fun stuff going on with these enchantments. You can have Monastery Swift Spear. Do we counter that? It can chump Goyf. That's really the only reason for me to care about their creatures right now. We could always save Shoal for a Lightning Bolt, though, which might be more relevant since they die in 2 turns to the Aberration. So I think that's just what we're going to do. I don't see them getting a lot of Prowess triggers going with just 2 cards in their hand and no draw engine. As Foretold and Pyromancer Ascension essentially give you tempo by letting you cheat on lands. Tempo's not that great when you have 0 cards in hand, though, so we're not too scared. I think we just hold our stuff up, force them to chump, and in 2 turns, Aberration will close this game. End step, we're also... Do we care to Thought Scour? Probably. I don't think we're going to need Denial since we have Shoal up, so that's fine. Let's get our graveyard. Another Delver isn't really something I'm interested in. Curiosity makes Goyf a bit bigger. Another blue source could be good, though. Do we want to just fetch and go for... I do believe we want to fetch and Serum Visions just in case the top card of our library ends up being a Simic Charm, because that would kill them this turn. So we're going to do that. Visions. What do we have? It's also very relevant if we find a Lightning Bolt, but the sequencing is a lot less important there, because Bolt just straight up kills them before or after combat. Assuming Delver Aberration will hit. We did find a Lightning Bolt on top. Quite fortunate, assuming they would do something scary on their next turn. Otherwise, it's not super relevant killing them a turn early. It's nice. It's certainly nice. I don't know if that actually... I don't know if we would lose this game if we didn't have this Lightning Bolt in hand right now. Basically is my point. If they go to 3, we're going to go for the Bolt with Denial and Shoal up. It's pretty unlikely that they can deal with it, so I think we just won the game. We're going to find out. Do they go to 0? They can cast 2 spells. We can probably counter both of them. If they have a Spell Stutter sprite in hand, they can counter this Lightning Bolt profitably. Cast it off of As Foretold, we can't counter it. Remand is something that we can counter, unfortunately for them. And we will go for it. Pyromancer Ascension, a bunch of triggers. Let's let some stuff happen. Clear it out. Prowess trigger, denial that. And if they have anything to do with the steam vents, we will deal with that using the Disrupting Shoal. That probably resolves, and 0. 0. There we go. That's better. Against that deck, I don't think Narnum Renegade is going to be very good. Good at blocking fatties. We didn't see any fatties. Maybe it could block a Raging Ravine. I don't think that's our top priority. Speaking of Raging Ravine, let's turn it off. How good's Basic Mountain here? They're going for some sort of Prowess mid-range shell, I think. This one's going to be hard to name. Don't think I want Vapor Snag. Snapcaster seems good. Let's get these cards in a different spot. Still hate that Tarfire goes there. Tarfire should be next to the Lightning Bolts. That's where it belongs. Revelry seems excellent. Grudge seems a lot less excellent. Think I want Huntmaster. Don't think I want Pyroclasm. Explosives is more enchantment removal, but I don't think it's going to be great. And do we want this basic mountain? I don't think so. Don't think I want Dismember either. Spreading Seas is probably a lot worse against a deck with a bunch of blue cards and ways to cheat on mana. So I think we're going to rely on Blood Moon to shut down their mana. Do we even want to? It's possible we don't even want these Blood Moons. I think I want Thought Scour for a quick clock. A lot of non-blue cards came in, but at least one came out. Two came out. So if we don't keep these Blood Moons, we might actually keep the Disrupting Shoals. But I think I want the burn. Maybe we cut one Lightning Bolt, since it's unlikely that they have a bunch of bolt targets. Traverse is probably good, but let's cut one. And do we want the Blood Moons or Shoal and Thought Scour? If I want Blood Moon, I probably cut one Mandrels, two Shoal. Two Blood Moons against them. Could be good. I don't hate trying something like that. Give that a go. Oh. We actually ended up cutting too many cards. I think I want the Traverse more than the fourth Mandrels. Let's give that a try. We also could have boarded in the Mountain, but I don't think that's going to be super relevant. I think I want the Thought Scours because it's unlikely that our opponent has a lot of interaction. I'll keep this off the back of Serum Vision's Steam Vents, plus the fact that we can cast 3 more spells afterwards. So keep. Go to us. Land tapped. Sure. Delver. I think we do want to fix our mana first, so let's do that. There's the mana. Do we want this mana leak? We're probably shuffling it away, but we may as well leave it on top. If they tap out for some sort of enchantment, I think we just slam 2 Delvers, getting a Breeding Pool, of course. Take a little damage, should be fine. Swift Spear, we might end up going for Tarfire plus Delver. Visions, now it's very likely we want to Tarfire it on our turn, just because they won't be able to interact with us. There is also the fact that we could just slam our Delvers. We're going to go to 16 off of this, 13 off of the Fetch Shock. Do I want to just play a couple Delvers? Maybe. It depends how worried we are about them prowessing. There's also the fact that we could slam Goyf. I do think I want to go to 13. Goyf doesn't actually die to Bolt, which is good. Them being tapped out means they can't remand it. I think we're just going to play this Goyf, but we don't really want to block with it, in case they have instant speed shenanigans. I do want this Goyf to resolve, though, so I think we're going to do it. Get in under remand. I don't think letting the Swift Spear get an extra attack or 2 in is going to cost us the game. Thing in the Ice is quite a pain. They're going to be casting spells. Another Delver, so we're going to need to be playing these soon. Thing in the Ice is going to be very difficult for us to deal with, but they won't be able to block this Goyf now with it. At least not profitably. So that's good. That is very good. Hopefully they won't be able to play enough spells to get that thing to flip quickly. And the harder we push the pedal down here, slamming Delvers, the less likely it is that thing will flip. So I do believe we're going to go for it. I think you would call this deck Temur Prowess, because Prowess decks do run Thing in the Ice, I believe. I think the pre-probe ban Blue-Red Prowess deck that was relatively popular, also known as Suicide Blue, because it fetch shocked a lot, I guess, and it ran Mutagenic Growth and Probe as Phyrexian spells, even though losing life wasn't really big for any of the deck's mechanics like Death Shadow, so I really don't like the name. For one, Suicide, kinda at least somewhat not cool, and for two, it's not even particularly relevant to the deck, so I much prefer Blue-Red Prowess. Goyf is probably going to connect here, but they might block. That's probably what they're thinking about, given that we are in Declare Blockers. Regardlessly, I do believe we slam Delver of Secrets. I would like to get the pressure on. More pressure means it's less likely that they can afford to take a turn off to play something like an As Foretold, which means it's less likely that they can get a big engine going and end up out-tempoing us. Because it's kind of like a cash flow problem. You have to spend 3 mana the turn you play As Foretold. You get 0 mana back the first turn, although it does technically let you cast spells. There's 0 mana spells. It gives you 1 mana back the first turn, technically 2 if you can use it on both players' turn, and the second turn after, it'll let you break even or get ahead if you're casting spells on both players' turns. But if spending 3 mana worth of tempo on that first turn is something you can't afford to do, it doesn't matter that As Foretold is profitable in the end, because you're going to be dead before you can profit. Sort of like when you're strapped for cash in a business and you're profitable, but you run out of money and your business fails anyways, which is quite unfortunate. Our opponent lost their connection. Hopefully they come back. We probably win this anyways, and I think we made at least some decent decisions. I'm probably going to stop the recording after maybe like when their clock gets to 14 minutes, so about 20 seconds worth of me trying to fill airtime, and we're gonna stop this. I'll get the recording going again. It expired, they quit the match, so I guess we didn't have to do that. Only lasted like 10 seconds, probably not even. So, some sort of Temur Prowess build. If it was just Swift Spear, I wouldn't think so, but the presence of Thing in the Ice probably makes a strong indication for Temur Prowess, so that's what we're going to call it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.